Serpents and Dominators, this is internet personality Vangelus, and they went and did a 6-inch G.I. Joe line called G.I. Joe Classified. Obviously, nothing else in the line really mattered to me until I got a hold of its rendition of Cobra Commander, one of my favorite fictional disasters of nigh-parodic pageantry crossed with cold-hearted cruelty. This appears to be a brand new design for good old CC, doing that thing I love to see where the nostalgic faceplate portrait is remixed with a healthy dose of light armor and, well, as I said earlier, pageantry. From the mixture of sculpted textures to the healthy application of painted details, right down to shimmering silver stripes and a mixture of matte and gloss finishes, this piece seems to deliver a solid value for a Hasbro 6-inch release. Even his soft plastic accoutrements have got things like a two-toned, sculpted micro cape. If I were to nitpick, I believe mine has a small blemish in the faceplate's silver paint, so as always, if you can scope out the figure in person, you might be able to avoid stuff that could diminish your experience. Cobra Commander's gun is not only a ridiculous flintlock, but a ridiculous flintlock with a literal snake sculpted into its grip. The weapon is doused in silver paint and suits the aesthetic of our throaty lad to a T. And if you decide to throw away his firearm for honorable combat, yet another grip that's made to appear to also be a snake is attached to the commander's vaguely ceremonial blade, which can happily store in a sheath fastened to his side. Sadly, there's no similar storage spot for his gun. While I have no need for odious drippings of nostalgia, even though I do like that faceplate, it would have been neat to see a fresh take on some sort of spinal socket for his hand cannon to nestle into. Aside from the basic grippy right hand and super villainous beclawed left hand, each one has a hand swap alternative. There's a pointing right hand and a clenched fist left hand. These are all awesome thematic options that are begging for symmetrical pairings! I realize that would raise the cost, but can I please have the option to pay for that right side fist? I would really like to have both hands looking the same. At least one pair looking the same. Bitte. The hand swaps are the kind of thing you get out of 6-inch Hasbro stuff. It's pretty simple to do. What's cool is, while there's a hinge in every wrist, the grippy hand has a hinge whose direction is rotated 90 degrees so that he can arc his wrist properly for holding weapons, which is so important to me. Anyway, that's not the only articulation we're going to talk about, because this line might have some really cool friggin' stuff, like ball-socketed heads. Okay, it's more exciting than that, I promise you. The head is a ball socket joint that's fully in focus, but there's also a hinge up in the top so as you can get some real deep up and down glancery while still maintaining the ability to quizzically tilt one's head now and then. The shoulders have got lots. There's a butterfly joint that reveals some matching sculpted and painted detail as you use it. The shoulders use regular rotatey hinge deals with a light detents going outwards, which, again, seems to be kind of just a regular thing for Hasbro 6-inch, along with bicep swivels and double-jointed elbows. It's a fairly slim arm that still has a nicely functional double-jointed elbow, and the wrists, of course, swivel in their connectors and have hinges where necessary. And once again, all this stuff has very light detenting that I guess we'll see as time goes on for people who really, lay into this guy, how well that stuff survives. But it feels nice and not limiting detenting, just solidity detenting. Also, this thing right here, there's a bit of a weird hump when he does that. He's wearing a thick jacket, I don't know, I like it. It gets work done. What else gets work done? Inside here, connecting his pelvis to his stomach, I am quite sure there's a ball joint, because I'm able to get some tilt out of this while still having rotation. Now this rotation does kind of click into place every 90 degrees, but you're able to still get lots of the in-between area without it snapping into position. And like I said, I'm pretty sure there's a ball socket here. Spoiler alert, I've messed with Destro and he has a ball socket there, so I think that's all what's happening. Just there's lots of this, soft plastic, and in the case of the bottom of the jacket, it is, I think, hindering that ball joint slightly, although not a ton. You're still able to see some stuff happen. What else you might not see immediately is it down here in the hips. This is a view of Cobra Commander, number 1, that everyone has always wanted to see. Fix up the lighting, fix up the crotch lighting. So, there are your usual kind of Hasbro 6-inch workable hip joints that do all the things that they are supposed to, you know, in tandem with the soft bits. On this line, it's hard to see on him, but there's a fig art style thing where the connection between the leg and the hip has its own swiveling joint such that it can go up and down inside the socket. You can see it very slightly on Cobra Commander. On Destro, spoiler alert again, I think it makes a lot more difference, but holy crap, that's like little fig arts touches on mass market 6-inch Hasbro stuff. I get excited about that. I also get excited about thigh swivels, even when they completely gouge their way right through the sculpted and painted detail. You know, it happens, as do double jointed knees that have very copious, buttery detents that feel quite solid. There is a boot cut, as they say, and then here on his in this version, you know, his very subtly armored boots, there's a lightly detented ankle hinge, and then the connection of the foot to that pin and the hinge, the pin, the sticky bit. Anyway, there's like a tilt, but you have to use the boot cut to get everything to work perfectly in tandem. Luckily, his boots are so high that I think it hides things pretty well, although at times, if you're not sure whether to use the thigh swivel or the boot cut, things can start to look a little bit oddly knock-kneed, but maybe that matches your interpretation of Cobra Commander. The articulation on this guy feels great, especially for all of this extra accoutrement that's kind of wrapped around him. I don't feel like it's limiting him in any way. I don't even feel like this skirt piece is all that limiting, outside of, like, not letting me go wild with the pretty sure there is a ball joint that's in there, or these, like, extendy, sucky, any hip things. But, you know, there's gonna be other figures in the line who don't have those kind of skirts. I just like that it's on him. I like this guy a lot. I like the articulation a lot. I don't hardcore collect much Hasbro 6-inch stuff, if you ignore the large bag of Lightning collection in my living room, so much as acquire a taste test of most of the lines when they intrigue me, but damn if Cobra Commander doesn't feel like a cut above my expectations. From the excellent design to its solid rendering in the departments of sculpt and paint, to its unexpectedly detailed articulation, to the fact that I've also messed with Destro, who is all of this, but even better, I see a bright future for G.I. Joe Classified. It's such a shame that my actual interest in G.I. Joe characters is so intensely limited and tunnel-visioned. I'll be happy to collect every Cobra Commander and Destro, I'll be eager to scoop up some Battle Android troopers, and I'll have someone's friggin' hide if I don't get the Headman and the denizens of Cobra Law sooner than later. I don't care about your, oh, they're gonna make Firefly, cool, they're gonna make generic man in balaclava. I'd postpone him till like 2024 if it meant I got my characters first. Anyway, this has been Internet Personality Vangelus, and in this, our December of the year 2020, please remember to continue wearing a mask and doing your part to protect yourself and those around you. Even Cobra Commander has the wherewithal to do it, and he's a literal supervillain. Many thanks for dropping by to check out this video, and many extra thanks to the absolutely not supervillains who've gone the extra mile to support me on platforms like Patreon and Ko-fi. Well, I mean, maybe some of you are supervillains, I don't really pry, but if anyone can hook me up with a sweet cyborg body, call me?